there, it's Kimberly here with Knit for Brains. We're back from our trip, and I found a yarn store on the road. I know, shocking. I didn't even have to look that hard. Knit on Pearl in Jackson, Wyoming. So stay tuned. I got to show you what I got and tell you all about the store. What an amazing place. I'll tell you what, I mean, we have been all over the world. I mean, you know, all over Europe, and we're trying to make our way, the Brit and I, to all different parts of the world. But I was like, there's so many beautiful things right here in our backyard. And we just finished a 2-week trip with our best friends, John and Di. And we met equidistant. So we came from the West Coast. They came from the East Coast. We met in the middle in Rapid City, South Dakota. We went to Mount Rushmore, which was mind-blowing. We went into the Badlands. We went to Cody, Wyoming, went and saw a rodeo. I've never seen a rodeo before. I'm a city girl. That was amazing. Then we spent 4 nights in Yellowstone, 2 different sides. We went to Lake Yellowstone and Yellowstone Lodge. We saw Old Faithful. We saw all these different paint pots and colors and the smelly pots. And we saw bison all over the place and elk. So much wildlife, so much nature, so much beauty. Then we went into the Grand Tetons. We went from there, we went to see Devil's Tower, and I mean, we just went everywhere, kind of all through that area, even Wall's Drugs, which is in South Dakota, from the movie, well, it's been around forever, but it was in the movie Nomadland. Phenomenal. Anyways, so I wasn't specifically on the prowl for a yarn store because I have a lot of yarn, but you know, I mean, if you see one, you always got to stop. And because we were seeing all these gorgeous colors in all these different areas, right? In Yellowstone, the paint pots and the coppers and the blues, we both kept saying, oh, there's got to be a yarn store and there has to be somebody who's dyeing these colors. It's just gorgeous. So we got to Jackson, Wyoming, and we did some Googling. And we found a knit store, a yarn store called Knit on Pearl. Now, apparently it's no longer on Pearl, but they've been around like 20, 25 years. But they're actually on, I think it's Gill Avenue. So it's like one street over, whatever. It's a cute little house. And we popped in there. And it was really funny because we went with our husbands, right? It was the 4 of us. The Brit, he knows how this works. And he goes right in the store and he beelines to the empty chair and he sits down and he just goes for his phone and he sits and he waits. And our friend Diane, her husband, he'd never been in a yarn store before. Never. I was like, what? So she was taking him around, showing him all the yarn, and he was fascinated. He thought it was really interesting, and there was some yarns in there. There's some more of the mass market yarns that they had, you know, Barocco, and they had some Noro, and they had some different stuff like that, which, you know, I love. But if I'm going to a local yarn store, I'm going to try to find the local dyers and yarns and that kind of stuff. He was like, this yarn's made in Turkey, so he was kind of getting the whole one-on-one. But he thought it was really humorous that the Brit knew exactly to go into the store, that there would be, you know, like a little seat for him, and he would just go and take it, and he knew exactly where to go. It's just like, and so he goes, has he been to these before? And I'm like, yeah, he's been to a few. He's been to a few yarn stores before. Anyways, so that was pretty funny. But you know, he really, really enjoyed going. He's like, this is kind of cool. My first yarn store. So anyways, as you walk in the store, the first thing you see all of their local yarns, and they do carry as many as they possibly can, yarns from the area, from Wyoming, from the Dakotas, from the Tetons and Montana, and they all have it kind of grouped in those areas. And then in the other back rooms, they had, you know, like your mass markets, the Baroccos and the Noros and different things like that. But it was really easy to find yarns. And of course, so I'm thinking, my thought process is I have to have been at the place, right? Like if it's Yosemite Falls, or if it's Snake River, or if it's Old Faithful, or if it's Grand Prismatic, Grand Prismatic Springs, I think it was called. I had to have been there, right, for me to actually buy it, because I said I saw it. So I was looking for those specific things. And of course, they had this beautiful, stand with all these lovely colors. So I found these. And I bought, they bought me, Diane and Jonathan bought me one skein for my birthday, which was lovely because, you know, these skeins aren't cheap. And then, of course, I had to get 2 for myself. And I already have the pattern. I know what I'm going to do with them. So the first one I got, I'll show you the one that they bought me. This one here is, now it says Yosemite, but we know that this actually is in Yellowstone Falls. I'm not really sure why it says Yosemite on the card. But the color is called Grand Prismatic Springs. It's 100% superwash merino wool, 438 yards, so it's pretty big, 100 grams, and it is probably it's a sock weight, so it's like a size of a 2 or so. But look at these colors. Look at it, it's got the orange and the yellows, and then it goes into the greens and more of the oranges, and then rolling into the reds in here, and then down into the purples and the blues. Oh, there's purple and blues in there. Isn't it gorgeous? So this is called Grand Prismatic Spring. What I also loved about this is the dyer used which I'm a huge fan of, the stained glass yarn you can see here with the little black areas in it. So the yarn comes white or undyed with these little tweeds and these twists of black going through it. So when you dye it, the black comes through, and they call it stained glass, and it's just gorgeous. So I love this, and this was called Grand Prismatic Springs. And this is from the Teton Yarn Company, color from the Tetons. So this one here is called Firehole River, which we went to as well. And as a matter of fact, I think that this is a picture of Firehole River. Otherwise, I'm showing you a picture here. But I believe this is Firehole River. There we go. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my gosh. This, by the way, in case you haven't been to, this is the Grand Tetons. Oh my God. And that's what they looked like as well. And then here they are in the sepia tone with the buffalo, or the bison as they call it. And there was lots of those around. All right. So this one here is called Firehole River. Look at the colors. I mean, doesn't it just scream fire? Again, she's using the stained glass yarn. This again is coming from the Teton Yarn Company. Excuse me. Look at the reds, the browns, the oranges, the yellows, the purple. Just gorgeous. And I think that this is a picture of Firehole Falls, or Firehole River, which is the falls. And I believe that just totally speaks to this, doesn't it? Loved this. All right, so I got these two because I thought, well, they definitely go together. And you know me, I'm not afraid of color. I will not back down from color, my friend. No, no. This is from Jackson Lake, and we spent a lot of time on Jackson Lake. As a matter of fact, we stayed in these beautiful cabins right on Jackson Lake, and it was beautiful. But look at these colors, the browns, the blues, the teals, a little bit of purple coming in up there, even a little bit of like a sagey and kind of a green. I mean, this is just speaks nature. But we saw all of these colors. It was incredible. Again, using the stained glass yarn. This again, so I got all the same. This is the superwash merino wool, 100%, 437 yards, 100 grams. And it says the gauge is between 7 to 9 stitches per inch, or 1 to 3 needles. And the dyer, the owner of the company, her name is Sarah Kane. And she has her websites, and she does, not only does she do yarns, but she does all different weights of yarns, but she also does fibers, you know, like spinning fibers and things like that. And she goes a lot of trade shows, but I just loved it. So these are the colors that I got. And I think I'm probably going to do it this way, maybe, and have transitioning from one to the other. I think what I'm going to make is it's one of those like scarf shrugs. So it can be a scarf, but then you actually put your arms into it as well, and it kind of becomes a shrug. I think that would be perfect for this. A lot of bright colors, but like I said, I ain't afraid of no color. And it's just got, I mean, love all of those super bright. I have the hiccups. Oh my gosh, super bright, beautiful, beautiful colors. So we got this at Knit on Purl. So if you find yourself in Jackson, Wyoming, you got to take a look. And it's right at the base of the Grand Tetons. It's all in that area. Absolutely beautiful. They also have a website, which I'll include here, and they do ship, I would say, you know, across the country. But they're just, and the person was so sweet, so nice. As a matter of fact, oh, here it is. She gave me a little stitch marker. Now it says Jackson Hole, but I believe the town that we were in is called Jackson. Lovely, lovely little town. So cute. So if you're ever in the area, and I know a lot of you are traveling, like, oh, I love doing it, then definitely go check out Jackson. It's a beautiful little town, quaint. It's really cutesy, so I know there's, you know, a lot of money and kind of bougie, but you can find some really good things there. We went whitewater rafting on the Snake River, which was just kind of like right through that area. Real small town. But you got to check out Knit on Purl. You know, if you're traveling around, just go in and see these yarn stores. Help to keep them in business because, you know, we would really be at a loss without them. I mean, we really, really do need to have them around to support. I mean, we got the big box stores. Joanne just closed. At least in our area, they did. You know, but there's a space for everybody. But I love, you know, I mean, Teton Yarns, she makes beautiful, beautiful yarns. She can't be in a big box store. She needs these small, independent, mom and pop, LYSs, local yarn stores to stay in business, or Etsy or whatever it is. So wherever you want to go, you know, to support that small business, just remember them, because I think it's important to support the small business, to remember them, you know, to help them out a little bit. I mean, there's a place for everybody, and I have done my share of big box, trust me. And I love WeCrochet, and I love LionBrand, and all of those, and you know this, Yarnspirations and Premier Yarns and all of that. And you know, you don't have to get a lot, but just get yourself something like this. You can make some socks or a cowl or whatever you want. But I just think it's really important to sponsor and support that small business. This is what I got. Isn't it amazing? So I'll be coming to you with the pattern and my project, you know, my progress on this project as I go through it. I do have some really cool products that are coming on the market that I pre-ordered, crochet products, of course, that I can't wait to get in and then share them with you. A little bit of unboxings and some book reviews and things like that. So if you're just stumbling on us, I'm so glad you found me. I don't know how you found me. I don't care how you found me, just the fact that you found me. This is Kimberly with Knit for Brains. We're also on Facebook. We're also on Instagram. On a Facebook page, we do a lot of, you know, like showing off our works and, you know, showing whips and asking questions and things like that. So if you want to join in there, it's a really good, vibrant group there. And then here we do tutorials and book reviews, and we're doing Project Welcome Home, where I'm having you, anybody who wants to sends me granny squares, and then we're making them into blankets and taking them to an assisted living facility at the end of the year. So there's all kinds of ways that you can help out and just be a part of this really fun little community that we have put together here at Knit for Brains. I started it, but really I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you very much. Thanks for sharing us with your friends. Please keep doing that. Like this video, because that helps our numbers to go up. The more they go up, the more people that see us, the more that we can bring you more stuff. So, but this is Kimberly with Knit for Brains. And as always, I'll see you soon.